And hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live trading workshop. It is January the 28th, 2026, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The cash market in the US just opened, and what better time to do some live trading this morning? My name is Daniel, and I will be your moderator throughout the session today. But we also have Niklas in the room who will be helping me finding some setups, discussing some setups, and potentially also executing some trades. We are greeting you today from our beautiful office here in Montreal, in Canada. It is a very cold day once again here in Montreal, minus 18 degrees. I walked to the office this morning. It's about a 20-minute walk. It was cold. But I'm all warmed up. My office itself is nicely heated. And yeah, I'm ready to go. But before we get into it, where are you guys calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? Please put your location into the Q&A box. Let's see, who do we have in the room? Let me just find the Q&A box. We have Russell. Hey, Russell, how's it going? Good to have you back. I believe, yeah, Russell, you joined us yesterday for the first time during our lunch and learn sessions. Who else do we have? All right. Anybody else greeting us today? I can see we do have a full room, so please don't be shy. Put your location into the Q&A box. Andrea from Hamburg. Anja from Hamburg. Wow. Back-to-back Hamburg. Nice to have you guys. Guten Morgen or guten Nachmittag, as you would say. Sven from Aalen. Hey, Sven, how's it going? Monika from Bavaria, from yeah, Bayern, as we say. Hi, Monika, wie geht's? Faith from Palm Springs, California. Hey, Faith. Floyd from Florida, Naples. Hey, Floyd, good to have you. Arturo from Colorado. How's the weather over there in Colorado? I imagine it might be quite cold as well. Another one from Colorado, John from Fort Collins, also in Colorado. Colorado, perfect. Wow. Thanks, guys, for sharing your location. Let's get into it. All right. A quick reminder that trading does contain risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance or really anything based on historical data, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and trades and strategies and setups discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, a quick introduction. So who are we? And this is mainly for those who are perhaps joining us for the very first time. We are tradingindicators.com. And as our name suggests, we specialize on developing innovative trading indicators. We've been doing this for more than 10 years for clients all over the world. And today, in this live trading session, we will use our flagship indicators to find interesting day trading setups. And how we do it and which indicators we use, we'll be showcasing you today. Now, a couple of ground rules. First off, what we're going to be doing today is, in fact, day trading. So we aim to open and also close trades within this session. However, having this said, the techniques and strategies that we're going to be using today, these apply for longer term trading as well. Also, we will be primarily focusing on trading futures today, which are a very popular day trading product. But once again, as mentioned, what we're going to be showing you today also applies to other assets like stocks or FX or crypto and so forth. In addition to this, we will be using TradingView today. Why? Not because we think it's the greatest platform out there. It is a very nice platform, but mainly because it's the greatest common denominator. Chances are, even if you're trading from a different platform like Wealth Charts or NinjaTrader, you have seen TradingView and potentially even used TradingView before. So it's simply the greatest common denominator. This is why we'll be using TradingView today. Also, what we're going to be doing today is to take live trades with our real live money account, but we are also aware that this session is time bound. We have approximately 2 hours time for our trades today. So therefore, since we do want to take some trades and ideally also close some trades in this session, some trades may be forced or closed prematurely. Just be aware of this, but we will be calling this out if we do so. Now, having this said, will every trade to be a winner? Well, Yes, of course. No, there's no such guarantee. But of course, since we'll be using our live money, we'll do our very best to stack the odds in our favor and to ensure that we have checked all the boxes before taking the trades because, we hate losing money just like anyone else. So what we'll be doing today is we're going to be using indirectly multi-time frame analysis. We'll be looking at support and resistance. We'll be looking at trend and momentum. We'll be looking at our signal indicators, and we will also stay away from major market events. Talking about major market events, what could these be and what is coming up today? Well, let's have a quick look on TradingView. So I'm going to switch over to TradingView if I can find it. 1 second. Where is my TradingView? There we go. All right, perfect. So what is coming up today in terms of major market events? All right, so I'm going to go to the calendar here, which is this icon down here. You can see it here, this calendar icon in TradingView. You click on it, and then you go to Thursday. And what I like to do is to unselect this filter here, which only shows you the major market events. So we're going to look at everything. So I'm going to uncheck this, and let's see what's coming up. Oh, today is Wednesday. It's not Thursday. Sorry for this. So today, what is coming up today? So it's 9:30 right now. So we have the Canadian interest rate decision. I think this is going to be, I believe not such a big event unless we're trading the Canadian currency futures contract. And we have a press conference coming up. This is at 9:45. I'm not sure why it's flagged as such a major event, but we're going to stay away at least from the Canadian products and potentially also some commodities during this period. And afterwards, we only have some oil-related events at 10:30. You can see it here. And later on today, some other events I think will be good to go today. Nothing too major coming on today. This is great. So we basically have a green light in terms of major market events.
Daniel.
Yes, Nicholas.
Oh, while you're talking about this, maybe could you just quickly hop over to MBT on the 15-minute? I just wanted to have that in the background for us because it's got a nice little power setup forming.
Let's do this right now.
Micro
Thanks,
Bitcoin.
Yeah, so this is Micro Bitcoin MBT on the 15-minute
Depending on your reference time frame. So I saw a resistance it's coming down to is a zone break retrace, and there's a tier 2. So on the 15-minute reference time frame, there's actually a resistance level right at that tier 2.
Okay, got it. I'm gonna go, I guess, to this time frame here. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, a quick detour. Let's have there's some other events coming in here already as well. Let's check it out. So it's loading. Yeah, we're coming into resistance here. We can see it, which used to be, in fact, resistance. And on the higher time frame, I believe you saw it. We do also have this big high volume node. I'm going to reconfigure my indicators accordingly. But Niklas, you're absolutely right. Let's put an alert onto this chart already, just so we can stay aware of this approximately for this time range here around 90,000. If price comes close to this zone here, this could be an interesting long entry. Very well. Perfect. Thanks, Niklas, for this quick note.
Sure.
And sometimes, if things are coming up, we will be switching over to the charts, even while I'm in the middle of talking, just so we don't avoid any setups. And Niklas, please keep an eye on this setup as it develops. Okay, perfect. So let me quickly go back to my slides. There we go. And what we will also do today is we will let our flagship indicators do the heavy lifting. Now, you may wonder, what are our flagship indicators? Well, they're all listed here. We do have other ones as well, but these are really our major indicators, the ones that we use on a daily basis. And today, the indicators that we strive to use are the ones highlighted here. So we're going to use all of our market IQ indicators. In fact, I have set some alerts up this morning using our brand new One IQ indicator, which gives us which flex setup for us if many things are coming together. We call this the headline news. But we'll also be using Liquidity IQ, Volume IQ, and MA Rush for this purpose. In terms of market sentiment indicators, we'll be using Trend Radar, and we're also going to use our trade signal indicators, 1, 2, 3, Strike, Divergence, Cloud, and Volatility Crusher. We may use some of the other ones too, but these will be the main ones that we'll be considering today to find interesting trade setups. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but we'd like to follow a bit of a process when we find trades. Why is this important? Because if you trade in an ad hoc manner, things tend to get a bit chaotic, a bit unsystematic, and you may do some rush decisions. This is why we like to follow a process. It's only 3 steps, which are the following. First off, we're trying to understand what is the current story of the market. Why is this important? Well, because we want to understand how did price end up where it is right now? Which path did it take? Which trends did it follow to end up where it is right now? And this is important because only once we know basically what is the current story, it's like reading a book. If you didn't read all the chapters before, it's really hard to predict the next chapter. Well, it's the same for the market. We need to understand how we ended up where we are right now to be able to predict what may happen next. And trading, of course, it's about predicting the future to some degree. We want to predict where price may be in the future. And we may also then look for extra confirmation as a third step using our signal indicators. So real quick, and I just got the alert for Bitcoin, Niklas. On my cell phone here, I'm going to switch real quick back to the charts, guys, before we
we're almost at the tier, crossing the tier 2.
So what we're going to do today, guys, actually, I will quickly jump over this chart here. We have our volume profile indicator here with the highest volume node. We can see it here, the zone of control of volume IQ. And it's going to reconfigure real quick our liquidity IQ indicator to the 15-minute time frame. We're going to talk about this in a second, how this works, just to show you guys what we are coming up against right now here. So we can see it right now. So we're coming up to this broken resistance that we can see it here, which coincides with this high volume node of volume IQ. Both, when approached from the upside, will be acting as support. And of course, if this coincides with a bullish trend, which we do have, this could be an interesting long entry opportunity. So what we're going to be doing today, or right now, is I'm going to switch over to my trading panel here, and I'm going to place our first trade. It's going to be a trade entering by limit order into this trade. I'm going to give it a bit more room because it's Bitcoin. It's a cheap contract. We're going to try to scale into this trade. I'm going to place it right now at this level. And if we come down a bit further, I may scale in a few times into this trade. Now, last time in our live trading workshop, if you remember, I did not get filled in all locations. So it's just going to be I'm going to go against my better judgment and move up my order here a little bit just so we can get an early fill and not miss out on this. Okay. So we're in this trade. Perfect. And if should prices come down a little bit further, I might scale in another time into this trade in the anticipation that price will bounce off this level towards higher price levels. And this is supported by a trend, which is bullish. Okay. And we are approaching support. Price is coming from above into a key level here, which coincides with this zone of control of our volume IQ indicator. So let's see how this one will pan out. So the first trade is already taken. Thanks, Niklas, for this. All right, we're going to keep an eye on this. And Niklas, if price come down a little bit further, please let me know so we can scale in potentially another time into this trade.
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. So real quick, back to my theory here. So what is the story of the market? Well, what we like to do is we like to keep it simple. And the way we keep it simple is we only look at 3 things when it comes to understanding what is the current story of the market. And number one, it's actually really simple. We are looking at, hey, what is the current trend? Is it rather bearish or is it rather bullish? And for this, we're going to be using an indicator called MA Rush, which prints these labels directly on your price chart. You can see these bearish and bullish labels here. And depending on what the last label on the chart was, this gives us the current trend direction. And in trading, we like to always trade with the trend than against it. Second, we are also considering key levels, key support and resistance levels. And these are given to us by our liquidity IQ indicator. You can see it here. This indicator draws these bluish lines and reddish lines directly on your price chart. And these are resistance and support levels. And price will react to these levels. Oftentimes, it will bounce off these levels. You can see it here. It comes into a level and bounces off a level towards the middle in between these 2 levels, bounce up here too. And sometimes it will break these levels and then we can trade in the breakout direction. So these levels are important. Having an awareness of these levels is important to predict what price may do in the future. And finally, we will be using Volume IQ to figure out, hey, where's the action? Which price areas are the most contested ones? You can see this here on the right-hand side by these high volume nodes pointed out, this one here and this one here down here. These are the most contested price areas. And what's happening when price approaches these levels? It's actually quite interesting. First of all, oftentimes price will slow down in these levels because these are very contested. There's lots of trading going on in there, lots of back and forth. Price typically will spend quite some time in these price areas. You can see it here. It took a long time to resolve this level. Secondly, if approached from the above, these levels can act as support, and when approached from below, these levels may act as resistance. So this is another level of support or resistance which we can add to our mix. Thirdly, if price gets into one of these low volume nodes, oftentimes price will accelerate in these price areas to either direction. So these can be accelerators of price directional move. Thirdly, we have an indicator called OneIQ, which basically looks at all three indicators, combines them, and figures out setups where everything is coming together. Here's an example. For example, we have a long power bounce setup. If the trend is up, this is for a long trade, so the trend is bullish, price comes down to a support level, and there is a second line of defense in place. We're going to talk about this a bit later once we look at the indicator on the chart. So we have this for the long direction, but also for the short direction. And similarly, we have these power setups also for breakout cases where a level is broken. So these indicators will give us the story of the market. Then, of course, once we know what is the current story of the market, we can try to predict, okay, what may be happening next. Once again, trading is about predicting the future to some degree. So for example, here, what is the current story? Well, we are bearish. The trend is bearish. You can see it here. We just bounced off this support level down here. We came up to this resistance level, bounced again, and now we are approaching. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Daniel. I was just saying we came down a little bit in Bitcoin to the lower end of the liquidity zone.
Okay.
So I mean, it's still pretty far from our stop, but I think that's kind of the pivotal moment there as we come down. But no, I think I wouldn't scale in yet. I would think we just let it play out for now.
Yeah. We actually have a long power bounce set up here. Actually, this relates to a different time frame, but yeah, I'm still okay. Let's keep it the way it is since we haven't had much time to analyze this setup yet. Let's see how it plays out. But yeah, okay. Thanks, Nicholas. Okay, so based on this setup here, what could the next chapter be? We are bearish in trend. We're just coming up to this zone of control, which has extra support at this extra resistance up here. So this all, to me, points to the fact that, hey, in the future, price will further decline. And if you were to play this out, you could place your target right above the support level here, because price may bounce off this level once again, and your stop loss just above this resistance level here. Because if this one fails, then I believe this setup is invalidated. And basically here we have two lines of defense in place. We have this zone of control, which may act as resistance, and then another level of resistance as per our liquidity indicator up here. All right, so that would be our prediction for the next chapter. And then what we can also do, in addition to all this, we can look for confirmation. And this is where our signal indicators come in. For example, we have 1 to 3 strike, which gives us interesting trend entry signals, both for the long and short direction, along with exits. We have Divergence Cloud. Many of you today are in the room because you have seen Divergence Cloud in my Wealth 365 conference, which looks for bullish and bearish divergence and gives entry signals based on this. And we also have an indicator called Volatility Crusher, which gives us entry signals if we have breakout moves. So all these we are going to be using today to find our trade setups. Sometimes we're going to skip some steps, like in this particular case for Bitcoin, we didn't look at our signal indicators. You know, we like to get into the market quickly. Yeah, let's now look to the charts. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my charts here. I'm going to have a look here at Bitcoin, yeah, it's still pretty much exactly where it was when we entered. So far, so good. But now let's do a bit of a market overview. And you can already see here, we do get these alerts every once in a while. This actually has a reason because I configured our 1IQ indicator to give me alerts when an interesting setup comes up. And in fact, what we're going to be doing today is we will look at my alerts box here in TradingView. You can see it here. And let's check out some alerts that we found. So for example, for M2K on the 5-minute time frame, we did find a long power bound setup at 9:38. That's like 12 minutes ago. Let's check it out. So I'm going to go here to M2K. Oh boy, big market open here. And let's see what this alert was all about. All right. So let's see if we can validate this. All right. So this was a bit further ago. Now this alert is no longer in place here. But the idea here was that we are bullish. You can see it here. The trend, I believe, is bullish. Where is my MA rush indicator? 1 second, guys. Oh, this is not configured properly. 1 second. This is why. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Perfect. Okay, so the trend is bullish, and we came down to this resistance level from above, and this level is now acting as support. And this could potentially lead into a long trade if this, with support of this high volume node below, which acts as our second line of defense. So we're going to keep an eye on this, see how M2K will react on this. I want to see really prices stabilize at this level here and potentially show some early signs of a bounce and maybe even entry signal by divergence color 1 to 3 strike before entering here into a long direction. Another trade that just came up is this one here. Also on the 5-minute time frame, long power bounce of ZL. These are soybeans futures. Let's check it out here. What was this trade all about? We are bullish in trend. All right. And the idea here is that we previously broke above this level here. Now we're coming down to this level with support of this high volume node below. It's a bit too far away for my taste, so we're probably gonna skip this trade potentially, but we're gonna keep an eye on it nonetheless. And we had one more break, one more setup here, a short power bounce of ZN, the 10-year node futures. Let's have a quick look at what this is all about here. Here, the trend is bearish. You can see it here. This is actually interesting. Here we're just below this support level. We came back into it, which is now acting as resistance with the high volume node just above. But once again, a bit too far for my taste. I gave the settings of my indicators to be a bit more loose than last time, so we get quite a few alerts, which we then can manually analyze. But nonetheless, this is something also to keep an eye on for a potential short trade. All right. So, but now let's become systematic. Let's have a look at what is happening in the markets in general. We're going to start with the MNQ symbol. And in fact, for this, oops. 1 second, take this away. All right, and it's the 50-minute. I'm going to go here to the 50-minute time frame, and the first thing I'm going to show is how do I configure my indicators. Okay, so what we have on the chart right now are 4 indicators. We're going to be adding other indicators as we see fit. The first one is our MA rush indicator. This is this trend indicator here. It's this one here, which gives us basically what is the current trend direction. I can see it here right now for MNQ, which are the NASDAQ 100 futures. The trend is bullish. This is the last label as per our trend indicator. We are bullish. There's just one thing. What I did for this indicator is I changed the reference time frame of this indicator to be on the 30 minutes. That's one of the beautiful things about our market IQ indicators. You can select which time frame the calculation should be based on. This doesn't have to be a chart time frame, which right now is the 50-minute time frame. It can be a different one. So in this case, I will select my reference time frame to be the 30-minute time frame. So a bit higher. Why is that? Because oftentimes, if you zoom out a little bit, the trend becomes a bit stronger and more convincing. So here we're using the 30 minutes time frame for this. We'll also have our liquidity IQ indicator on the chart, which is this one here, which prints, you can see it here, which prints these levels directly on your price chart. And also here, I will configure liquidity IQ to be used the 30-minute time frame. So I'm going to use this one here and click OK, which basically tells the indicator, hey, instead of the chart time frame, which is the 50-minute time frame, use the 30-minute time frame to do your calculation. Then we also have our volume IQ indicator on the chart. Here we just use our default settings. And as mentioned previously, this indicator shows us high volume nodes, like this one here, and low volume nodes. In addition to this, it also shows us areas where we have a bullish bias or a bearish bias by means of these reddish boxes to the right-hand side. And then lastly, we do have our 1IQ indicator on the chart, which I will also configure with using the 30-minute time frame. And this indicator is designed to give us a headline news event. Basically, when many things are coming together, in trading we call this confluence, which pinpoint to what we call a power setup. And if this happens, we will be alerted in TradingView by means of our alerts that we have set up. All right. Okay, so now let's continue with our market overview. So MNQ, very bullish. We had the zone break here, and then we had a nice breakout move. And you can see it here. What happened afterwards is we broke above resistance, moved up a little bit, came back down to this resistance level. And you may have heard it before. When resistance is broken, it may act as support, and then the real move commences, which, this is kind of a launch pad here for the actual breakout move to happen. This is a picture perfect zone break, the retracement, and then the actual move happened. And now, of course, we are very extended. We are very far away from our resistance level here. There's no nearby level, really. So here, what I would like to see, perhaps with Trend Radar, because we can keep an eye on it, potentially look for a healthy pullback in this uptrend, and maybe then use Divergence Cloud for a potential entry to the long direction. This is something to keep an eye on. I believe it's quite similar in MES. Oh, no, it's actually a bit less bullish. MNQ really leading the pace today in terms of the major indices. Also here we did have the zone break, but now we're kind of consolidating a little bit here at this level. We're coming down to this higher volume node, which we held, and but still quite far away from our liquidity levels, which is all the way down here. So here we're going to keep an eye on this as well. What's going to be happening for a potential long entry. Why long? Because we do want to trade with the trend, which clearly is bullish, rather than against the trend. Let's look at M2K, the Russell. Russell has been struggling a bit. You can see it's not as bullish by any means right now. We are bearish, and oh boy, look what happened here. This actually would have been a really nice setup. We are bearish, and then we came up exactly almost to the dot to this support, to this resistance level here. And what happened? Price wicked into this level. We even had a liquidity capture event, and we bounced off sharply from this level towards lower price levels. And now I'd be curious to see what was going to be happening next. Will we hold this high volume node? I mentioned it before. If approach from the upside, this high volume node here may act as support. We're going to see if price stalls out a little bit. At the minimum, I expect price to spend quite a bit of time in this price area should we enter it before resolving it. Because as mentioned, these high volume nodes, these are highly contested. Price may spend quite a bit of time in these price areas. Also something to keep an eye on. Moving on, what about gold? Gold, of course, is also very bullish. It's unstoppable. It didn't retrace as much as silver in the last, on Monday, when we had a big move down. And now let's see what's going on here. Yeah, it's consolidating a little bit. It's far away from our levels. Also here, Nicholas, I'd be interested to see if potentially Trend Radar could give us a nice, healthy pullback entry with Divergence Cloud or 1, 2, 3 strike giving us an entry signal. So something to keep an eye on. Silver. Yeah, silver is just crazy. I think I'm going to stay away from silver. It's quite, to my eyes, quite risky, because these moves, what you see here, these are absolutely massive moves. It looks tiny, but these are price moves from like 117 down here to like 101. These are $16 of a move, huge moves. It's super volatile right now, and this contract is extremely expensive. So I think, even though it's very tempting, to go long silver on a pullback, it is. We also have to do some risk management. These are huge moves, and this will be beyond our risk tolerance. So probably going to stay away from silver today. And one last symbol to look at, it's oil. in addition, of course, to Bitcoin, which we already looked at. MCL, crude oil futures, also quite bullish today. We moved up since we had this bullish trend here from this level here at 60 all the way up to 63. Quite extended, I should say. You can see it here how far we are away from this resistance level. Also here, I potentially would be looking for a pullback, potentially to this higher volume node here of volume IQ, and then potentially look for a long entry here as well. Why long? Because we do want to trade with the trend than against it. All right, so with this, let's have a quick look at what's going on with Bitcoin, the trade that we currently still have open. Yeah, still pretty much where we left off of basically around our entry point right now. Still bullish trend here. And you can see here, it's so fascinating for us to see how these high volume nodes, look at this one. This is the zone of control. You can see it here. Actually, let me just quickly change one setting here so you can see it a bit more clearly. Where do we have it? Here. No. Niklas, where's that setting where we can put the number onto this instead of the... It doesn't matter.
It's right. If you just go a little slower.
Yeah.
Go down. It's actually, it should be up near the top, Daniel.
Oh, okay.
Like right there. There. Is that it? Action zones. Maybe this is an older version of the code.
Okay.
Oh no, right there. Sorry, it's this option called tier labels.
Right
tier there. It says rectangles. There you go.
Yeah, I want to put this on here. Once I set this label here, you can see this little thing is going to change to a number 2. 1 second. There we go. All right. So here, this is, you can see this little 2 here. This is what we call a tier 2 level as per volume IQ, which is basically showing us a high or one of the highest volume nodes of the volume profile. In this case, it's the zone of control, and it's the most highly contested area where price oftentimes gets stuck in. And when approached from the upside, and of course, it's never to the center. Oftentimes, it's always to be seen as a zone. Oftentimes, when approached from the upside, it will act as support. And that's exactly why we took this trade, because we are reaching support from this level. And here, in addition to this, look what we have right below. Another resistance level, or former resistance level, which once again, we would also approach from the upside. And if we approach a level from the upside, it means it will also act as support. So here we have 2 lines of defenses in place, which we always like to have. This zone of control acting as support. And if this one fails, we have one more level here as another support level. And this is exactly why I put my stop loss right below the second level here, because I want to trade with 2 levels in place. Okay, because it's 2 lines of defense in place. So hopefully this is going to work out. We're going to keep an eye on this. So far, so good. Price seems to be holding the first level of defense, line of defense already. So we're going to be now looking for a bounce of this levels towards higher price levels.
If we check, Daniel, too, on M2K on the 15-minute.
Okay.
It is bullish on MA. Wait, do I have the right reference time frame? Yeah.
Well,
I think you use a higher reference time frame than the chart, right, Daniel?
I use the 30 minutes time frame.
Never mind then. Okay. On the 15-minute, it's bullish from this morning, and it's bouncing off a tier 2. There is that. Yeah. But I could see how it looks different on your chart.
So this, what Niklas has on, he has configured the indicator slightly differently, but nonetheless, what you can see here is that we are coming down once again to this high volume node of volume IQ, or this tier 2 node as we call it, which is acting as support. Why as support? Because we are approaching it from the upside. It really matters from where price is coming to. If we're coming from the upside to this level, it's support. If we're coming from the downside, from below to this level, it may act as resistance. Yeah? So this is really what matters, where price is coming from to this level. But Niklas, I agree with you. This could be an interesting long trade here. Bouncing off this level. Of course, here we see we are bearish in trend on this 50-minute time frame. But if you go to the 5-minute time frame, this is the 5-minute chart here, and I switch to M2K, the Russell futures, we probably can see that our trend will be bullish. This is what Niklas has found. Bullish trend here. We just switched trend direction here. And yeah, now trading at the zone of control. I will be a bit careful with this, Niklas, because we also have this resistance level right here where we may bounce off from. So we'll stay away from this one for now, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it to see how it pans out. All right, let me see if there are any questions or symbol requests coming in right now. Guys, if you have questions, don't hold back. Put those questions into the Q&A box. All right. Okay. So let me go to my alerts. Here, what else do we have? Okay, so I'm going to check these all off. I'm going to have a quick look at my soybeans futures. Long power breakout. Oh, breakout. That was the move. It was not a bounce. I misread this previously. Let's take a look. All right. Okay. Long power breakout. Okay. Let's take a look here. I like to trade these contracts, believe it or not, because they're so nicely and slow moving. It's just very relaxing to trade these agricultural contracts like soybeans futures. And what was flagged here on the 5-minute time frame at the time when it happened is that we were bullish in trend and we broke. You can see this little zone break label here. We broke above this resistance level here. And this could be a breakout move, but what I might be looking for now here is a retracement down to this level, potentially here to this price level here, and then potentially enter long with my stop loss just below the zone of control here. It might be a bit of an expensive trade. Let me actually price this out real quick for just for 1 unit, just to see what this would be. Limit entry around here. My stop loss right below here, yeah, $300. Not too bad. These are Canadian dollars. This our account is denominated in Canadian dollars with a price target somewhere around this level. So I will keep an eye on this. I'm going to set an alert in TradingView if price comes down to this level to potentially think about a long entry in soybeans based on this breakout move. And let's just revisit it one more time. Our short breakout of ZN, the 10-year notes. This one seems to be in progress already. You can see here, we had our breakout move, price already a bit further down. But also here, I will be waiting patiently. Waiting is a game of patience for retracement, potentially back to this level, which will now act as resistance because we're approaching it from below with my stop loss potentially just above this zone of control here. So I'm going to add an alert here. Just got the alert for ZL. I'm going to revisit it in 1 second. I'm just going to quickly price this out. So if we were to enter at this price level, I'm not taking this, not putting the trade in right now. With my stop loss all the way up here, yeah, it's a fairly cheap contract at 232. Might take profit target maybe somewhere here. This could be an interesting short entry here as well. We are bearish. We just broke this level. I'm waiting for a retracement back to the level to enter short of my stop loss just above this high volume node here. 2 lines of defense in place. In fact, this is actually a trade. I'm going to just put this order in right now here. We'll see if we can get an entry. I like the setup. Many things are lining up for this particular setup. All right. Okay. So now we actually just get this trade filled right here. And Bitcoin is coming down a little bit. Let me just quickly go back to Bitcoin. What's going on here? On micro Bitcoin, actually on the 50-minute time frame. Yeah, we're just coming down a little bit here on Bitcoin. And oh, this is M2K. Sorry for this. What did I look at here? There we go. Bitcoin. Sorry for being a bit jumpy. Yeah, what do we see here? We see price is coming once again down to the zone of control. And as I mentioned before, previously, this oftentimes takes quite some time to resolve. You can see price really stalling out oftentimes in this price area because it's highly contested. Lots of things are, happening in this price area. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on this. So far, so good. We might scale in another time when price comes down a little bit further to this level here for some dollar cost averaging at this price point. Okay. So another alert came in. I'm going to go back to my alerts here. We have, I believe I saw it somewhere here, didn't I? Yeah, a long power bonds of 6N. 6N are the New Zealand dollar futures. Let's take a look. All right. So I'm going to go to the symbol here on the 5-minute time frame. Ooh, big move down here. Let's look at 6N here. What's going on?
We got a nice setup too after we look at this one on micro euro USD. That could be good to act on.
Okay. Yeah, this is a long power bounce. I kind of like this one. Look at this. zone of control with a support level right here. I'm going to actually also come in here and place my trade just a bit lower with my stop right below this support level for an entry here with just a nice move further up. Yeah, nice move. You look at this. It came down to the zone of control. See if we can get maybe a bit of a better fill, which has the support level right below here. So we'll keep an eye on this one to see if we can get a fill for a long trade. And of course, the trend here also, as you can see it here, it's a bullish trend. I don't have to even look at my indicator. It's clearly bullish. Oh boy, look at this. Where's my signal? There, down here since Friday. On this 5-minute time frame, we are clearly bullish on 6 and on the New Zealand dollar futures. All right, let's see if we can potentially get an entry here as well. All right. Next, Nicholas, which symbol did you find for us?
I was just on M6E on the 15-minute chart.
Euro futures. Okay.
Yeah, M6E, and it's correlated with the New Zealand one. They look the same, but a little bit. Actually, no, New Zealand one looks like it's less trending down than M6E. So once we're on that chart, so on the 15-minute chart, we can take a look at that.
On the 15-minute,
Divergence Cloud AI actually just had a short signal at 8:45 a.m. And we are dropping out of what you'll see is a seller block. So a lot of people have been buying above price, and now they're underwater. And the next spot where buyers seem to come in is around the 119 mark.
Yeah,
okay.
Around here.
Down there, further down to like 1.190. So I was actually thinking if it tries to pull back up to the lower part of that volume node above you, above price, if it starts to pull back up to the lower end there of that big chunk, then go short.
You're thinking short.
Because there's seller block. All those people are underwater. They might want to take some profits. This has been a huge uptrend. Yeah. And Divergence Cloud is short. Trend Radar just turned fully red.
Yeah, let's put an alert here. You know, I'm always a bit hesitant to go against the trend with my trades. We're still bullish here. Let's see what happens. Because if this was just a quick pullback of some news events that came out, I would imagine that we might this bullish trend might resume. But let's keep an eye on it. It also looks a bit correlated. You can see it here. Prices are coming back up with the New Zealand dollar trade. So you can see it here, which is also now nicely pulling up a little bit. Of course, we'll see what happens. Yeah, let's just keep an eye on this. So far we had our little entry here. Bit of a profit. Let's see how this one will pan out.
What do you think of this, Daniel? If you go back to a Bitcoin chart.
Yeah. Okay, 1 second.
Bitcoin. And then apply Divergence Cloud AI.
Okay, yeah, now let's look at our signal indicators. That's something, of course, which we wanted to do.
Because there's something I want to point out, which might be a reason to take a premature exit, and multiple things are happening. Daniel, do you mind actually if I just share my screen real quick so I have this setup that I show? Okay.
Go for it. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I just sent a request.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
All right, just so the indicators are ready while it's happening. So this is what I'm seeing here on the 15-minute chart. So number one, Divergence Cloud AI is applied. It's got 81.25% short efficiency, 5.63 profit factor short side, and it just signaled a short entry. We just lost the tier 2. We had a liquidity capture above price and we're losing the level. I was thinking that it could be a sign to, we still have bullish MA rush, but I thought it might be a sign to potentially just exit this one now instead of letting it go all the way down to the stop. But what are your thoughts? And I'll stop sharing now if you want to reshare.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's, cutting your losers short is, of course, an art in trading. Are you still sharing, Nicholas?
I'm waiting just to see that you've shared, so then I can stop
second. Let me just find my share button here. Where is it? Okay, share again. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it does look. I mean, you're right. This looks now quite bearish, but I still think we have the second enough defense in place. It's just a little bit further to go. We'll see if we bounce off it. I'm gonna keep it up for now. This trade just so we can stick to our plan. We have our 2 lines of defense. We're bullish in trend. This level now will make or break this trade. If we don't stop at this level, this resistance level here which is now acting as support. And of course, this trade is invalidated. I'll stick to it. This might be our second half defense, but you're right. It looks definitely now quite bearish here, but maybe you can
Yeah,
see a bit of a bounce
I have it
here.
on a different reference time frame, so you've actually got higher time frame, more important levels here. So that's good.
So let's see what happens. You can see a bit of a bounce happening here already. Of course, this may be short-lived if this momentum to the downside is quite strong. We'll keep an eye on it. All right. So let's revisit some of our trades which we do have open right now. Let's go back to our nice New Zealand trade here. So far, so good. Nice bounce off this level. Of course, we want price to come up a bit further up, but we'll keep an eye on this. The so far, so good. What about our short trade here for the 10-year notes? I can see it here. This is our breakout trade. We broke this level, and here the anticipation is that we will continue, moving price-wise to the downside. I'm going to use a conservative profit target here, just a bit below here. This is a slow-moving contract, just to see what's happening here. And I can see Bitcoin now is coming very close to our stop. Short power breakout. Oh, and I'm curious. This coincides a bit with all the markets pulling back a little bit. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I'm not too hopeful anymore now of this Bitcoin trade. This is our second line of defense being in place here right now. But we'll see what's going to happen. If this doesn't hold, then this trade will be invalidated, and then I think we're going to potentially be moving all the way down to this level here in a Bitcoin very shortly. All right. Somebody's asking, which broker are you connected to? It's Interactive Brokers. You can see it here. They have a really nice integration with TradingView. So, of course, you can connect Interactive Brokers with all kinds of platforms, such as NinjaTrader as well, and Motivwave and other ones as well. We like the TradingView connection. It's just so easy to do it all web-based in the browser. And of course, our indicators work really nicely on TradingView. They load fast. They look beautiful. It's just something we got used to over the years of trading, that we oftentimes use TradingView with our Interactive Brokers connection to execute our trades. And Gabriel saying there is a Fed interest rate today at 2 p.m. Yeah, there might be some volatility. Well, there's two ways of thinking of this. Sometimes if there's a bigger event coming up, oftentimes markets will be quiet before this event happens, just an anticipation. So maybe not much movement there. But maybe also some increased volatility. I always thought the markets are sometimes a bit more quiet up until the event, and then they start moving at 2 p.m. When this happens, I think we're definitely going to see some volatility, and I'm definitely going to make sure that I will not be in any day trades at this time. Kurt is asking, can you look at BSBR from a stock point of view? Yeah, we're definitely going to have a look at this in just a bit. Just going to have a quick review of what our positions are doing.
Now, what's the position that's changing so fast? Oh, Bitcoin. Yeah.
Bitcoin is still there. Yeah, and here the New Zealand dollar future, after this initial bounce here, we'll see we're coming back down again. So I would have loved to see like a quick bounce to the upside. Let's see what's going to be happening here. I might close this out also prematurely if I'm going to go back here to this 5-minute time frame. If I'm thinking that, hey, this level might be in jeopardy. So we're bouncing off this zone of control. Let's see what happens. But of course, some back and forth always is possible, but maybe I'll be a bit more conservative with my profit target here, just because we have another, you can see this here, there's another high volume node around here, which may act as additional resistance. So this chart is a little bit particular. You can see it here. We do have this zone of control, the highest volume node. You can see it here. But then here, there's another high volume node, and we are approaching this node from the downside, meaning it may act as resistance. So for this reason, just to be conservative, I'm going to put my profit target just a bit below this level so that we don't give away our profit there when we see a bounce off this level. All right, so let me quickly look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is bouncing up a little bit from this resistance level. This is exactly the reason why we have two lines of defense in place for most of our trades. It just, we give this trade two chances to work out. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on this. Let's quickly look at this New Zealand dollar trade. I'm a bit wary here. I'm gonna close out this trade early because I have a feeling that we may see a bounce off this level to the downside. And there's nothing wrong to ring the register quickly, have a little winner in the books, and then we'll build from this. I like to start my trading with like a little success story to begin with. This was this trade here. We'll see how this pans out. If we come down one more time to this level, maybe I'm gonna re-enter. Who knows? But for now, we have one small winner in the books. All right. So let me have a look at the breakout trade that we're taking here. Yeah, not much movement here going on. You can see it here. Price really just hanging out in this level. Of course, the idea here is that we will see a nice follow through of this zone break here. It's just taking a while. This is a very slow moving contract. You can see it here. Not much movement. It's also, every time you see bars like this, which kind of like jaggedy, you can see here these bars of these big wicks. You can see, hey, this is a slow moving contract. There's not much going on here. You also see this in soybeans. This one here, ZL, all these agricultural contracts. Oh, this is a nice one here too. Let me just have a quick look here. What do we see here? See these bars? They're kind of always look the same. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't take this one. This level did not hold. Here, the idea was originally, okay, we had the zone break here. We're coming down back to the level. Let's enter long with our second line of defense being this zone of control here. But as you can see right here, this didn't hold. It went further down. And now we're approaching this zone of control. But now I believe, I'm just going to have a quick look at a bigger time frame here on this soybean futures. Oh, this is, don't be irritated by this. This was not relevant. I'm going to go back to ZS here just to have a quick look of what we see here. Definitely an uptrend. You can see this is a nicely trending up move. And we're coming down to, on this time frame here, to the zone of control on the 5-minute time frame. So we're coming down a little bit here. This is a zone of control on the 5-minute time frame. And what we may see here, and Niklas, maybe can you put on the trend radar and divergence cloud indicator on it?
On the
Do we see some signals coming on there?
Okay, on trend radar, level 3 pullback. Divergence cloud, it has no position.
No position, okay. Yeah, because the idea here is, if we were to take this pullback, we're in an uptrend. Prices are pulling back. And if you look at the 5-minute time frame, look here, we're coming right into this zone of control. You can see it here. And what I'm thinking, potentially, maybe this can be a nice support level for a long trade, but because I also don't want to catch or grab into a falling knife if this doesn't pan out. But maybe just you know what I'm thinking? There's, for this particular one, let me just go to my trade panel here. What about the following? So we are bullish. That's the market story. Clearly bullish. This seems to be a contested area, which was approached a couple of times before. It came down here. It came down here. Now we're coming down again. I'm thinking maybe if we get a nice entry somewhere around here with my stop loss just here, no harm, no foul, only $60. And my profit target just below this resistance level. This could be a nice trade with a nice reward to risk ratio based on the fact that we are bullish and we are approaching the zone of control, the high volume node of this volume profile indicator. Just gonna place it in here.
We might have an interesting opportunity, just to let you know, Daniel, when you're done with that, G's on gold coming up, perhaps.
Gold, okay. Yeah, let's switch over.
If I didn't interrupt you, if you want to finish your...
No, that's fine. I like this one. It's not perfect, the setup. Of course, we want to do some trading here in this session, so I may take trades when not everything is perfect. There's no liquidity level nearby, so our liquidity IQ indicator doesn't have a support level nearby. It's all the way down here, which is not ideal. Ideally, I would like to have this level also in this vicinity here, so we have two lines of defense in place. But nonetheless, this could be a nice, trade with a great reward to risk ratio. I can see it here already, how prices are bouncing off this zone of control. It's very common to see that when approach from the upside to the zone of control, it will act as support. Exactly as we see it right here. All right. So now let me have a
Wow.
look at.
How about I share my screen, Daniel, just for gold real quick?
Yes, please do. Yeah.
Okay, so there's actually, because it's a little bit different configuration than on your end.
Hmm.
All right, so here's what I'm seeing. So on the 5-minute chart, I've got liquidity IQ on the 5-minute reference time frame. But one thing I noticed is, okay, we came down to this support. We tested twice liquidity captures, but we're bouncing up, okay, for now. Divergence Cloud, surprisingly, has a 7.89 profit factor, higher on the short side than the long side, over 12 trades on the 5-minute. It's short right now, and it hasn't taken an exit yet. So we still have a high win rate. We're right in the middle of this magnet zone. And now, because it's a short-term day trade, if I hop over to the 1-minute, what we see, because on the 5-minute, right, there's not much happening on the volume profile around here. All the action was back here. If we go to the 1-minute chart, though, we could see that all of the trading is basically centered right around here where we're coming up to. So we're coming up to this level, 5,270. It's a magnet zone trade. We have Divergence Cloud short. And, there's decent reward to risk if we just put our stop at the local pivot right here, even lower, like somewhere here. What I was thinking, why not just use the Divergence Cloud short stop up here because it's got a good profit factor. If we can get a little bit more pullback, maybe test of these, take a short around the 5,270s.
You're a brave person, Nicholas, to short gold.
Well, no, I'm trying to be a little more, like kind of your style. But what I would do right here is take a short around right here and put my stop right there. Super low risk and high reward to risk if it does pull back.
I mean, this would be, yeah. So here you need to, it's an interesting approach and we can definitely try it. I mean, we're here to take some trades. Just be aware this particular trade would need to be very carefully managed. Gold, of course, is a very bullish symbol across the board. This would be just a very quick dip into the market, just assuming, hey, we may have a bounce off this level, a quick short bounce, take a couple of pips, and then we're going to get out of this trade to the upside.
Yeah, and the moment's already passed. So, yeah, it's not a trade
But yeah,
anymore.
but you can see it's the idea is
it
good.
was a trade right here when we brought it up.
Short. Yeah, absolutely.
It's already, it's already down.
But let's, Nicholas, keep an eye on it. If you come back once again to this level, maybe we're gonna we revisit it. We will revisit this decision.
Cool.
Yeah, great. So I'm gonna share back my screen again to take a look. All right, what is going on? There we go. All right. So, what's going on here? So, Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin is coming up a little bit. Yeah. You can see this nice little bounce. It's a beautiful bounce. This is why we want to have 2 lines of defense in place. Of course, we did enter all the way up here in Bitcoin. Nonetheless, I'm going to switch over the time frame real quick here. Bouncing off the second line of control. If we are coming up so the idea is, hey, this was the second bounce. Our bullish trend will resume in Bitcoin. So far, so good. Let me take a look at what's going on here at our short trade in the 10-year notes futures. Yeah, lots of indecision here. Basically, pretty much at our entry point right now. No harm, no foul. I still believe here the trend is bearish to some degree. Markets are super slow, and Floyd is pointing out the FOMC meeting is coming at 2 p.m. today as well, which is weighing on the markets. It's quite slow, but nonetheless, some trades can be taken in these slow market conditions. I would like to see what's happening with 6N, the New Zealand dollar futures. Let's take a look. Was it a good idea to close out that trade or this early? Maybe. We're still pretty much where we are right now. Still bouncing off this level. I was just a bit nervous that, hey, I want to have like at least one little success in my books in the beginning of the session to build on. All right. Okay, so let's have a look at the indices. What's going on with NASDAQ and Co. So I'm going to switch back to my 50-minute. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to switch back to my 50-minute time frame here. And by the way, guys, the reason why sometimes I have 2 tabs open here is I like to use this one for the 5-minute and this one here for the 15-minute time frame. And you may wonder, hey, why does it switch sometimes to the 5 on this tab? It's because when I click on the alerts and it says 5-minute in the alert, it will automatically change the time frame of the chart to whatever's in the alert. This is why it swaps sometimes here, and this is why some of that, I get a bit confused with this. All right. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't have closed it out so early. It doesn't matter. Nice bounce of those levels. The idea, nonetheless, was correct. All right. So let me see if there's some questions coming in. Can you comment on APH? Yes, or look at some stocks in just a bit. What I wanted to do before is I would like to see what's going on with the indices. Oh, Bitcoin, long power breakout. Okay.
That's good news.
That is good news. Yeah. Let's have a quick look here. On the 50-minute time frame. Okay. Let's look at it. I'm going to go to the 50-minute time frame here. And I believe what happened here, let me just have a quick look of Bitcoin. It's loading. You can see it here. No setups. 1 second. I was going to go here quickly. This is correct. Maybe it went away, but yeah, definitely a long signal here, a long alert signal. With our 1IQ indicator for Bitcoin on 50-minute chart, confirming, okay, hopefully this is a sign that our bullish trend is going to continue. So yeah, definitely encouraging news. And Trump is saying that Trump might be speaking at 10:50. Oh boy. Yeah. We'll see. 10:50. We still have a bit of time for this, but yeah, we'll definitely be aware of that there might be some volatility introduced in the market. But you can see all our positions they're small positions. By the way, guys, one of the biggest difference makers in trading for me, at least, was to reduce my position size. Why? Because if you trade too big, you tend to let emotions get the better of you. Yeah, either get greedy. Oh, come on, I want to make more money. I've already made $500. Maybe I want to make $1,000. That's not a good emotion for trading. Or you have fear. Oh my God, I'm down $500. Oh my God, I'm gonna blow up my account. Oh, I'm gonna lose $1,000 today. Not a good feeling. Once you trade smaller, you get rid of all these emotions which are counterproductive in trading. So this is why I like to enter small. I like to see no harm, no foul, and then just let the trades play out. All right. What were we talking about? Oh, now finally, I'm going to go back to NASDAQ and Co. Let's have a look. Okay, so these are the NASDAQ 100 futures. Nicholas, what do you see here on NASDAQ in terms of trend radar and divergence cloud? I'm imagining this could potentially be a nice pullback scenario here when NASDAQ is coming down a little bit in the strong uptrend. Been quite bullish.
On the divergence cloud, we just had on the 5-minute, a long trade gets stopped out, MA rush turned bearish, and trend radar slowly shift into fully bearish. That's on the 15-minute, so everything's bearish.
Bearish.
On the 15-minute, sorry, on the 5-minute, everything's bearish.
Yeah.
On the 15-minute, divergence cloud has an old long position, but with a stop loss, it's like 250 points away.
Okay.
And it may shift bearish in the near future.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this. I still kind of think that, hey, this is just a bit of a consolidation in this bullish move. We had this a couple of times before, which could be an interesting long entry opportunity. But of course, we want to enter near a key level. We don't see these levels right now. There's one higher volume node down here, which is still far away, and then the actual level is down here. But meanwhile, we have another entry. ZL, soybeans futures. Got an entry here. And let's see how this one will pan out. We had this sharp move downwards into our zone of control, into this high volume node here, I believe on the 5-minute time frame. 1 second, let's go back here. Where is my entry? Just a second. There we go. Yeah. On this time frame here. And remember, what was the idea of this trade? The idea here was that, okay, we're bullish and we're coming down right into this zone of control, the highest volume node of no volume IQ indicator, and this one will act as support. Why as support? Because we are approaching it from the upside, from above. When prices are coming from above to this high volume node, this will be acting as support. And the idea is, okay, off the support, we're going to be bouncing towards the upper regions of price with our target up here initially I believe if we are bouncing maybe to this level here, I might take my profit already, but this is definitely the idea. We're going to see a short-lived bounce at least from this level from which we can profit off. So we're going to keep an eye on this one. All right, now let's have a look. What else do we have? Okay. This is panning out, so we're going to wait here for the bounce. You can already see that prices are slowing down a little bit in this area. So this is exactly what we were hoping for. All right, so while this is panning out, Nicholas, we're going to look at some stocks as requested. And Dominic, for APH and Kurt for BSBR, which time frame would you like to see the stock? So I'm going to start potentially with, with a swing trading time frame, for the daily time frame for these ones, just to take a look. So I'm going to create a new layout here in TradingView. So I'm going to go here, create new layout, which we're going to be using for our day trading, for our swing trading. So we're going to use the daily time frame. I'm going to go here for the daily. Where do we have it? There we go. I'm going to close this window here. And now let's apply, first of all, the symbol. So BSBR. All right, on the daily time frame. And now we're going to apply our indicators. So I'm going to go down here to our liquidity IQ indicator, our MA Rush indicator, our 1IQ indicator, and our volume IQ indicator. Perfect. While this is loading, let's see what do we see here on this particular signal. Yeah, Kurt, what I see here on the daily time frame is that we just broke above this resistance level. This is a nice breakout trade. Now we're quite far away from this level. I would be a bit careful. It's just the way I would look at it, to enter right now at these elevated price levels. I think, especially also if there's a little gap here, you can see this little up gap, we may see a bit of a retracement towards this level again, and then this could be a potential long entry off this level. Yeah, so I personally would wait a little bit for price coming down a little bit and then potentially enter in the breakout direction, which is the long direction here for BSBR. Just quickly hide this box here so it's a bit more clear. There. Okay, perfect. All right, and the other symbol was APH. All right, Dominic says APH is in an interesting zone. Amphenol Corporation. All right, okay. I see what you're saying. A nice pullback here. Okay, now we're talking. This is more like my style of trading. Let's see what happens when we come up. Yes, okay. I'm gonna add also Trend Radar to the mix. Okay. Let's see. Level 3 pullback on Trend Radar within a very strong uptrend. Bullish for a long time. Oh boy. Yeah, long-term bullish. Now we are in this broken resistance level with this huge gap here to be filled. It's a down gap. Well, right in this gap fill process here. Yeah, I do like it for potential long. Absolutely, Dominic. That's an interesting one. And Dominic, if you're there now, if you will be there in our live scanning session where we're scanning for swing trades, maybe bring up this symbol as well. This could be a really nice contribution for next Saturday. Yeah, looks really good for a potential long, especially if this pullback and this down gap here. Down gaps are bullish setups. It sounds a bit counterproductive or counterintuitive that down gaps are bullish, but they are. Why? Because down gaps or any gap like to get filled. And for this down gap to get filled, where does price need to go? It needs to go to the upside. This is why down gaps are bullish. Perfect. And Dominic says, yes, noted. Great. Thanks, Dominic. Yeah, great symbol. I never looked at this before, but this definitely looks interesting. I wonder what they're doing. Just real quick, since we are here, I'm going to open up our dashboard. Just bear with me. Just to check. I have to log out here 1 second. We're doing some debugging this morning. So if you guys had any issues logging into the dashboard last night or this morning, this is now been fixed. So this is why I set my debugging screen on there. Let me quickly log in just to have a look if we do have this symbol. If not, Niklas, please take a note of this. I want to add it to our dashboard.
Sure.
APH, but let me just quickly double check if this symbol is in our dashboard. I never heard of it before, but let's see.
We should have it, isn't it? We just looked at it with the option professor actually a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
we did? Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Got it. Okay, great. Yeah. Thanks, Dominic. I will definitely discuss this setup on Saturday. Yeah, long break here with a nice pullback, level 3. Oh, this was yesterday. Today it pulled back. So this data will update tomorrow when the market is closed, and then we might see a nice pullback information here with a potential zone break retrace setup. Great. Okay, back. Don't want to get off topic. Let's have a look at our trades here. All right. So what are we looking at here? Okay, Bitcoin. Bitcoin coming up. This personally makes me happy, but I don't see this is now. We entered here. I know I entered prematurely into this trade. I say, hey, let's get into the market right away. We're struggling now a little bit with this resistance level. I'm going to keep an eye on this. Prices may bounce off this resistance level as we're coming further up.
I like it now too because just reading the story there, where that liquidity capture happened as we came down through that resistance zone, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we come back and we regain that area, everybody who just sold there is going to think, oh, God, I got to get back in. And it might drive a fast regain of that resistance level if we can make it up a little higher to 89,950 or something.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, prices need to push a bit higher. We're right in the midst of this, in quotes, mess here. Tier 2 level, zone of control, and this resistance level here. So there might be a bit of back and forth. But if we get above this level, I think we're going to see, an acceleration to the upside for sure. Let me look at our short trade here for the 10-year notes. All right. Okay. Coming down here. Honestly, I will. We didn't scale into this position here, but I'm gonna ring the register here as well. Should we get to this level? Because we bounced. We came down here before, and we bounced. I don't want to give away this bounce again. So if we can book profits here at this level, I think this is a good idea because we may come up again. It's a very slow moving market. Oh, what just happened here? Oh, we got stopped out. I was wondering what happened here. Why do we only 2 positions? Unfortunately, my little scalp trade, which I had in mind for these soybean futures. See, now I'm blaming myself, Daniel. You didn't wait until all these things lined up. This is a lesson which I really want to teach myself more often. We took this long trade here in anticipation. Okay, we're going to bounce off the zone of control. We're bullish. Fine, 2 of 3 factors were in place, but the third factor was not. There was no level nearby. We jumped in nonetheless, said, hey, great reward to risk, and we got stopped out. Well, no harm, no foul. It happens. Was very for a small loss here in our soybeans oil futures trade. But yeah, this is why I like to wait for the perfect storm where everything is coming together, including a key level from Liquidity IQ. All right. No harm, no foul here. Bitcoin is moving further up. Okay, now it's getting interesting. Look at this, Nicholas. We're coming up all the way from this resistance level. We go back to the 50-minute time frame here. Oops, where's Bitcoin? There we go. Into this level. Beautiful bounce off this level here to the upside. And now the idea is to push further higher, if you can. Okay, great. Let me take a look at some other symbols. What about NASDAQ? Yeah, NASDAQ is still struggling. We had some strong momentum earlier overnight here in NASDAQ. It's the 50-minute time frame, but now pulling back a little bit. But there's no level nearby. So if you want to take a little bit of a lesson learned from previously, let's stay away from trades where not everything lines up. So you want to take the trades where everything is perfect, the perfect storm. And this is really something which has helped us in our trading quite a bit to be more selective in our trading. FOMO, the fear of missing out, is seldom a good advisor. Why? Because there's so many trades you can always take. There's so many symbols which are tradable, including stocks as well. So you will never run out, and waiting for the perfect storm where everything lines up oftentimes is a good advisor. What about YM? Dow futures. Okay, let's take a look. All right, so I'm going to go to YM, Micro Dow. All right, what do we see here? This is the 50-minute time frame. Let's take a look. All right, bearish. Okay, so on the 50-minute, we are bearish, and we are right in this zone of control right now. In Dow, I mean, if I'm reading this story, I can see, hey, the momentum is bearish. We're on a downtrend. We bounced off support here, and now we're up in this zone of control. And, also here, not everything is lining up. I don't see a level nearby, like a liquidity level. We're just in the zone of control. The trend is bearish. But if I were to anticipate where price is going to go next, I'd say we're going to reapproach once again this support level. Is this enough for me to take a short position here? I don't think so, because we don't have a level nearby. I can quickly have a look on the 5-minute time frame to see if we do see a level. I'll look at Bitcoin. It's coming up. And by the way, guys, I'm going to have to do a quick switch just to explain to you why I wanted to take my profit here. We didn't get our fill, unfortunately. I probably should have forced it, because this is exactly what I wanted to avoid. To have this bounce off this low point here towards higher price levels. It's exactly what happened here. Well, it happens. No big deal. But this is why I tried to take my profits here, because it seemed to me, okay, maybe we're going to see a bounce of this level. I still think we're going to see more short momentum, but we gave away now our little profit that we had here in this particular trade. No big deal. It happens. Okay, back to Dow. All right. So MYM. Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, would I take a short trade here? This is the 5-minute time frame. Let's see when everything loads. Nah, also not here. Not everything lines up. We are bearish. Yes, we are near the zone of control, which may act as resistance. Okay, because we approach it from the downside, but there's no level nearby. I would like to have a liquidity level like this one here nearby, acting as our second line of defense.
Even on higher, like I kept going on higher and higher time frames to see if we get a clearer story on YM.
Yeah.
Up till the 2-hour, it's all bearish, and on the 2-hour, there's it's in a magnet zone as well. There's a zone of control above price that goes up to that pivot high from today, basically down to where we are now, a big zone of control on the 2-hour. But then the nearest level is still all the way up at 49,600. If I check, I'm just checking real quick. I'm curious the daily chart and the 4-hour to see if there's any liquidity levels. No, they're even further away.
Okay, actually, Dave is
Still
looking
nice
for a long trade here. Okay, let's take a quick look here for a potential long on the 1-hour time frame. Okay, so I'm going to create yet another layout here for me, so we can see this a bit better. So I'm going to create a brand new layout. Create new layout. 1 hour, for lack of a better name. Okay. So let's configure this properly. So I'm going to go here to the 1-hour time frame, and then we'll just apply our indicators with using the chart time frame as reference. So I'm going to go to Liquidity IQ, MA Rush, 1IQ, and Volume IQ. All right. Let's see what you see here in Dow for the long. Okay, I see now what you say. Okay. Got it. You're looking, Dave was pointing out, okay, we came down to this support level with a liquidity capture event. So maybe this is a good time to talk about what these liquidity capture events are. These are events where where a candle wicks into a key level, like in this case, a key support level or support zone. It cannot break it, and this candle has high volume, higher than the average volume. And oftentimes, this can be interpreted, hey, something is happening right now. Somebody is stepping in potentially. And oftentimes this will increase the chance of seeing a bounce of this level rather than a break of this level. Yeah. Yeah, potentially. I mean, I I will stay away from it. It's not my cup of tea, especially since we're still bearish here on this trend. But Dave, you might be right for a quick scalp up to the upside. Definitely, this is potentially it could pan out. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. All right, what's going on here? All right, Bitcoin, yeah, was struggling now a little bit. That's exactly what I was worried about. Look at this, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Another liquidity
resistance level
capture?
here. Yeah, we did have a capture here. Ah, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. We couldn't push above this resistance level, and this is exactly what I thought might be happening. We called it out that we're gonna get into resistance here. We did have a liquidity capture, which now drives price lower a little bit. We'll keep an eye on this. Maybe we see another attempt to regain this level and potentially push over this level. But right now, we're struggling with this level here. It's not very surprising. Zone of control and this resistance level now coinciding. Prices will probably hang out in this level on this area for a little bit longer. All right, good. What's going on with gold? Niklas, you pointed out gold maybe
Yeah,
in for a
I
little.
haven't checked on it. The idea was a bounce off of basically the 52.70s, but it went all the way up to 52.80. I was going to
Okay.
mention it, but I realize it's kind of it's not justifiable enough by our usual methods to be shorting here.
Yeah, I mean, I see gold more as a if we come down again to a level like this, maybe a level 3 pullback as per trend radar. Let me apply this indicator real quick to our chart. As like if you want to keep it really simple, where do we have it? Yeah. Trend radar. There. Okay. Let's have a quick look here. Yeah, level 4 pullback on trend radar here. On the 5-minute time frame, if we do the same thing here on the 50-minute time frame, just a quick second, guys, bear with me. What do we see here as per trend radar? Oops, there we go. Okay. Take one away here. Okay. We do see a level 3 pullback as per trend radar. Yeah, there's no level nearby. This is unfortunate. If we would see a key support level here around this price level here, this to me would be more convincing for a long trade. There's no level. Let's stay true to our methods. We only trade when things are truly lining up. We're not gonna stay away from gold for now. Also looks like we're consolidating quite a bit here after this big move up, which may take a bit of time to resolve.
Could I open up a chart here, Daniel, on YM on my
Yes,
end?
please. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so all right, so just something interesting I noticed. So here's on the 30-minute chart. I was just surprised because generally YM is up over, the months, but Divergence Cloud somehow has 83% win rate on the short side, 6.38 profit factor at 29 short trades. And right now it's short from, all the way back here. So maybe this trade's a little stale, but it's only taken one partial exit so far. So those are good statistics for the short direction. It's also got a stop loss right at this tier 2 and MA Rush bearish. So I don't know. Right here, I'm actually like thinking about this one. We've also got a seller block here. It's a possibility. This is YM, like the macro contract. If we go to the micro, the tier 2 is in a little bit different of a position, but we've still got Divergence Cloud with a high win rate, actually the same win rate, short from the same spot. And we've got this tier 2 right here. I don't know. Depending on what happens, this might be actually like a high reward to risk short trade to hop in on from Divergence Cloud. You got a higher reward to risk than at the time if you had taken the initial entry signal. Still only one partial exit has been taken. Supports here. We bounced really quick, but maybe if this doesn't hold, maybe that's going to be pressure to sell us down into, this super low volume stuff down here. Or this level.
It's just that we have the support right below, and there's this support level, which I'd be careful about shorting it. This short trade to me has not much room to go, at least initially to this support level right below. Yeah, I think we're gonna stay away from Dow. To me, it looks a little bit too messy for my taste of trading.
Sure, and this is a 30-minute chart too. We don't have time for that, especially this time of day.
Yeah. Okay, I'm taking back my screen again. All right, so share. There we go. Thanks, Niklas. So let's take a look here. I'm a little bit annoyed by this ZN trade here. I knew, well, I felt that it's going to be bouncing off this level. Remember when price was right here at this level? We put a buy limit here. We didn't get the fill because this is exactly what I didn't want to happen. I didn't want to give back the profits here. I'd still like the setup. I think it is valid for a bounce of this level to lower price levels. But yeah, we definitely could have ranked the register already at this point here. So now we'll see what happens. Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is making another run at this resistance level once we are, let's see, on the 5-minute time frame here. Just a second. There we go. All right. So let's see. So another run up to this level. Let's see if we can break it now. So you can see price is retesting this resistance level. If we get above it, I believe we're going to see a nice fall through to the upside. Because then we have cleared all this stuff out of the way. We may see a nice way to the upside. If not, yeah, we may see a bounce again. But let's see what happens here with micro Bitcoin. Trend radar is not really so helpful here. We can see overall we are bullish. The last row here in trend radar, that's our long-term trend. It's bullish for the most part, at least. It's all green. Some pullbacks along the way. So I still believe the trend is on our side here, but we may see some resistance here, resistance, as we would say, at this level. Let's see if we can get above it. All right, perfect. All right, so what else do we have? Are there any symbol requests coming in? Arturo says, can we look at ES? Yes, absolutely. Let's take a look at ES. I'm going to go back to my 50-minute reference time frame here and take a look at micro E-mini futures. Yeah, also an uptrend. Trend radar shows a level for pullback on the 50-minute here. I wonder if this on the 5-minute gives us a support level here. Let me have a quick look on the 5-minute. I'm going to switch over here on the same contract to the 5-minute time frame on MES. Trend radar here is all red, so deep pullback here. Yeah, but even here, the level, you can see it here. It's just down here. And we just lost the zone of control. Yeah, I'm going to be careful here, Arthur, for a long trade. It could be that we're going to see a bit of a bigger retracement down to this level here, 6,989. So of course, don't want to give away these 20 points. It is in the cards, potentially. So I'll be careful for prematurely entering on this pullback here in the long direction, especially also we're seeing this high volume node or the zone of control, in fact, of volume IQ, which could act as resistance. All right. Okay. So what else didn't we look at today? What about our Euro futures?
Did we look at, we already looked at BSBR?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
What happened to New Zealand? Let's take a look. I just the trade very early on today, which I closed.
Oh,
it's okay. I mean, that was me having a bit of stage fright, or I don't know. It's trading in front of an audience. It's always nice to have some winning trades, but yeah, this is exactly what we had in mind. This big bounce. Yeah, of course, I did trade it, close it out much too early. Now I think prices are gonna push further up. Beautiful setup though, where everything came together. Zone of control with a key support level, a nice bounce to the upside. Kevin is wondering for Oracle. Yes, definitely. I'm going to stay here on the daily time frame. Let's have a look at Oracle. Is Oracle's downtrend going to be stopped? It's fascinating for me to see. We had this big hype up of Oracle. They got all this big data center contracts from OpenAI, I believe. Jumped up. Crazy jump. That was back here in September. Crazy jump up. Larry Ellison was the richest man in the world temporarily after this jump, because of course he has a huge stake in Oracle. And then, I don't know, a huge move downwards. So Oracle to me has become some sort of value play now. It is a big company. It's a major player out there. Let me just hide the mentor mode here for a second, so it's not so messy. Hide these labels on the chart. But I don't know. Seems to me that this downtrend, if you've been in here since the all-time high, we lost almost 50%. I think it can go all the way down here to 126. And then, if it does, Kevin, I believe this could be a great value play at this price level. You can see it here as well. Higher volume nodes here and 2 liquidity levels exactly here at this price point. Of course, we're still far away, but I would be careful jumping in the long direction right here. I think prices might come down even a bit further. That's my take. All right. So this is 6N, worked out beautifully, closed it out too early. Let's take a look at our open positions. All right. Yeah, Bitcoin's still struggling. Yeah, it's right here at this level. Not very surprising. The technicals show us this. We're going to stay patient with Bitcoin here, potentially hoping for a break of
There's
this
still a nice
potential.
volume shelf on the 5-minute, like beneath price. Actually,
Yeah,
this would be an
this one
interesting.
here.
Oh, you're on the 5-minute. Yeah, we still have all this chunk of volume, and if we get above there, look, we're going back into a tier 1 above price.
Oh, a new alert came in on RB. These are oil-related futures. Let me just quickly look at my trade here. Yeah, still struggling. I still think I'm gonna move down further down on my 10-year notes trade. Let's keep an eye on this. Let's take a look at RB. Yeah, long bounce in RB on the 50-minute time frame. So I'm gonna go to the 50-minute here. Okay, let's follow our proper process and let's go to our alerts RB. Let's see what this long bounce setup is all about. Oh, this looks interesting. Okay, bullish trend on the 50-minute time frame, coming down from above to this key liquidity level, and you can see it here. We do have the zone of control right below here. And this is a very expensive contract, but the idea here would be, I don't think I'm going to take it. It's just a bit too much, especially with the zone of control quite far away. But if you were to trade it, this would be the trade. So a long trade, potentially enter if you come down a little bit further here to this level with your stop loss just below this zone of control of volume IQ. Why there? Because it is your second line of defense. The first one is this level here. This former resistance level was broken, now acting as support. We're coming down to support. This is our first line of defense. And the second one is this zone of control here, right below. It's just an expensive trade, which I don't want to take here. Again, most of my trading has been turned around. Once I traded smaller, just keeps my emotions more in check. We're going to keep it that way. I'm going to reject this trade, not because of the technicals, just because it is not within our risk tolerance. Of course, this is in trading probably the most important thing to consider. All right, what's going on with ZS? You remember this soybeans trade, which I had in mind? Let's have a look here. What do we see here? No, it's just hanging out here. So the bounce to the upside, which I was looking for, not panning out. Okay, no harm, no foul. I mean, a small harm of $70 or $80 a minus, but nonetheless, it's still okay. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin once again. Let's see if we are seeing some progress here with Bitcoin pushing through this level. Nah, it's just being stuck here. It is what it is. Now at this zone of control, let's see if we can clear to the upside. We'll keep an eye on it. All right. Any other symbol requests? If not, let's do a quick round table to see what we see on the chart. So I'm gonna make this a bit bigger here. Let's take a look at what is going on right now. Let's look at our major symbols. Let's start with MNQ. Yeah, MNQ is still pushing lower. Remember when we said, hey, potentially be careful on MNQ to enter long. There's no level nearby. So even though we do have a level 4 pullback as per trend radar within a nice uptrend, no liquidity level nearby, this will disqualify it for a long entry with our methodology. MES, similar story. Level 4 pullback within a nice uptrend, but once again, no level nearby. The next level is down here, quite far away, more than 40 points away. MYM, Dow, just consolidating. And Dave, yeah, you were right. A long trade, nice bounce here against the trend, but nonetheless a nice bounce up this trade. Dave, did you take this trade by any chance? You called it out. Down here, David says, hey, potentially a nice bounce off this support level here, despite the fact that we were bearish, but the bounce so far has worked out. M2K. Let's take a look here. We are bearish. Also here we see a similar bounce off this support level towards higher price levels, but we're kind of sheltered in here with this zone of control. I think there's going to be lots of back and forth here No clear setup in my view. And David says he took the trade. Wow, congratulations. That's awesome. By the way, David is very active in our Discord channel, guys. If you haven't checked out our Discord channel yet, take a look there. David is posting there, Nicholas is posting there, and we're trying to build a community of traders in our Discord channel. Everybody helping each other, posting setups, discussing setups, and so forth. All right, gold. Yeah, pushing higher. Okay, that's interesting. We did have this level 3 pullback here as per trend radar around 9 o'clock, which was bought up. Now it seems to be resuming, but once again, no clear level nearby. So a trade which would not qualify. According to our methodology, Nicholas, maybe Divergence Cloud had some entries here. Maybe take a look at gold for potential long if Divergence Cloud was signaling something. Silver, yeah, huge moves here. These to me, with our risk tolerance, are very hard to trade. Let me just give you an example. Let's say hypothetically, I'm not going to take a trade, but hypothetically, if
DC
you
went
were
short on gold. Sorry, I've been muted before, Daniel, but it has a less than 0.5 profit factor on the short side. So
yeah, okay, I would not. Oh, you see that short there? Yeah. So here, just hypothetically on silver, just to explain to you how expensive it is. Let's say you wanted to maybe play a long trade here on this silver contract. This is micro silver. It's the micro contract. So you could potentially put your stop loss here. But look at this, $6,000. It's crazy. Let's see how big these moves are. And even if you put your stop loss maybe below the swing low here, it's still $2,400. Way above our risk tolerance. Silver is very expensive. And they're even talking about increasing the margin requirements further for futures trading in silver, which I believe ultimately will drive prices a bit further downwards because less people can engage in futures trading. But yeah, very expensive. Unfortunately, it's a nice contract to trade. It's just super expensive. If you, of course, are on MT4 and MT5, you're allowed to trade CFDs. This is a different story. There potentially you could, trade silver for much less risk on the table. But in the future space, quite expensive. All right. So, oil. Didn't look at oil in a while. Oil is bullish. See a bit of a pullback here. Let's see if we do see some liquidity levels nearby. No, also nothing really nearby here. And David is suggesting, what about the German DAX? Yeah, let's look at the DAX futures. FDAX futures. I don't have trading permissions for FDAX with my current account. David says shorting DAX. All right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great setup. Oh boy. I can't trade, unfortunately, but this looks interesting. Look at this one here. We are bearish in trend. We are also bearish in trend radar. Last rows here are green, are red. A level 3 pullback up into this former support level, now acting as resistance with the zone of control right above. Yeah, that's a great short trade. Dave, I like it a lot. And I can't trade it. I don't have trading permissions for DAX right now, but something probably I should apply for in the future. Great setup. Thanks for pointing this out. All right. Okay, so this was our round table. Let me just quickly look at our positions here. Bitcoin struggling. Yeah, I think it will take a bit of time for this area to be resolved. I'm still hopeful somewhat that we're gonna see another move further up, but still struggling with this zone of control where we are in right now. And my 10-year notes. Yeah, we had our chance down here. I still think it's gonna come down. I just have to be patient with this trade. All right. Okay. Meanwhile, let me quickly go back to my slides since we have a bit of time here. We do have some specials going on right now for our trading indicators. In fact, for packages that we've put together, such as the Market IQ pack, which consists of Liquidity IQ, Volume IQ, One IQ, and MA Rush. So you can get these packs at a discounted price. This is part of our new special, which we still have open. And the link is down here, tradingindicators.com/2026. Check it out. It's not just the Market IQ pack. We have different packages there as well. Perhaps you see something you like and want to take advantage of these special prices available for these packs. Trend Radar is also involved there. There's our power bundle indicators and their Divergence Cloud, 1 to 3 strike, Divergence Cloud. There are packs of Super Trend Bullseye and so forth. Check out the page. All kinds of trading packs put together for you now with special discounted pricing. All right. TI pairs. Yes, we are still converting it to the two platforms. It's, as it turns out, especially for Motif Wave, it's quite a challenge, but it's happening. Don't give up on TI pairs. It will become ready for NT8 and for Motif Wave in the near-term future. Thanks for your patience there. It's coming. Absolutely. All right. We just got a new alert coming in. So back to TradingView. All right. Let's have a look. Long power breakout on HO heating oil. All right, let's check it out. Okay, so here on the 5-minute time frame, you can see my alert coming in here. So I'm going to switch over to the 5-minute. There we go. And just going to move this down a little bit. Switch on, HO. Let's take a look. Long power breakout. Okay, what do we see here? It's actually a nice bounce setup, and the breakout is flagged here because we're just getting above the zone of control. That's actually an interesting one. Long power breakout, you can see it here in our 1IQ indicator. The reason for this long power breakout is because we're getting above the zone of control. We're breaking above it. That's the break. And we see a nice follow through to the upside, and we have 2 lines of defense in place along with bullish trend. First line of defense is this zone of control itself. The second one is this support level down here. All right, this is actually an interesting one. Let me see if we can put a trade on this one. So I'm going to quickly switch off mentor mode here just to keep my chart clean. Let's give it a second. And the idea here is that price will continue in the upside direction. Let's see if this is within our risk tolerance. So connecting to Interactive Brokers. Not sure why it disconnected, but we're getting back into it. There we go. And okay, let's take a look. Our bonds are coming down finally. Our notes. So let's say we wanted to enter this the long direction. Maybe with a limit order here. Stop loss just below this level here. It is expensive, but if we get in, maybe this could be just within our risk tolerance. I'm gonna ask price to come a little bit closer down to bring it closer to our risk tolerance. Just here. I'm gonna place this trade here. Maybe we're gonna get a fill for a potential. Yeah, here in Canada we do have, even though our account size is it's not too small, the margin requirements unfortunately are so strict that we need to have a really big account size to trade some contracts. Yeah, not gonna work out. Nonetheless, guys, if you see this setup on heating oil, this could be an interesting one for a long trade of this zone of control, anticipating this upwards trend is going to continue with your stop loss just below this resistance level here. All right, quick look back at our notes trade here. Okay, so we'll see. I still think that ultimately we're going to come down here. It's just going to take some time for this really slow moving contract to resolve. We just have a chance to book profits here. If prices come down back to this level, I'm definitely going to close it out. For now, I'm going to keep it open to see if we can take some profits off this trade. All right, and Bitcoin, struggling with this cluster here of this messy cluster here, zone of control and resistance. You can see prices just came back in here. Maybe we're going to get one more chance. If not, I think if I see prices falling below this level, I may just close it out prematurely because it's just market conditions have changed a little bit since we ended this trade all the way up here. All right, Niklas, do you see anything interesting in the markets right now that's worthwhile trading for the last 50 minutes that we have?
No, especially not in 15 minutes. I'm taking a look around. There's a lot of symbols that just are not near a level, Yeah.
I'm going to take a look at Euro. What's going on here? M6E. Yeah, this was this big trade down here. We saw this big move. You see it here. This big move down here, and then we came up a little bit. I kind of could have liked, well, well, the fact is euro is bearish right now. You can see prices are coming down here. So I wouldn't take a long trade off this level down here. It just would go against the trend. But yeah, euros there. Bitcoin, you can see it here. It's coming down a little bit. If you lose this level, I think we're gonna retest this level down here. Something I don't really want to get into again. I may close it out. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna keep an eye on this one here. But if you lose this high volume node to the downside, I think that we're probably gonna go down here. I might close out Bitcoin. I still think ultimately we were gonna come up, but perhaps I was gonna reconsider once prices are actually more in this vicinity for a potential long trade. All right. What else do we have? What about New Zealand? Which probably could have been our trade-off today. We're coming down a little bit again. Nonetheless, it was a nice bounce off this level. We called it out, probably the highlight trade of today. I still think these other two trades, especially these bonds, the 10-year notes trade will work out. Bitcoin, we have to see. It's a bit messy right now, but this bonds trade may work out. And then we also had our ZS trade here. I mean, we get stopped out. Maybe my stop loss was a bit too tight. Right as we came down, levels have changed a little bit since then. We got stopped out. But yeah, maybe I should have given it a bit more room. All I want is a nice bounce of our zone of control at the time here to the upside. We did bounce up a bit, but a bit too deep of a retracement since then. I still hope, guys, that you think that these indicators, or you can see that these indicators, they can predict future market move quite reliably. Of course, not every trade will always work out, but it's a numbers game. You will trade the numbers, and then there's also a lot about trade management that needs to be considered here, where you have to book profits when it's the right time, or give your trade just enough room to work out, and wait for the perfect setup. This is something we didn't do here for ZS for the long trade, because we wanted to jump in to just saw something with high reward, low risk. It didn't work out. So oftentimes waiting for the perfect setup is a good idea as well. All right. Okay, so if there are no more symbol requests, guys, last chance for you to ask for some symbols. I probably gonna close out this session here. I'll keep an eye on my Bitcoin trade here. It may still work out. We'll see what's gonna happen here. If we revisit this resistance zone one more time, perhaps we're gonna see a break of it. Then I think we're gonna hit our target. If not, I'm probably gonna close it out. And for my nodes trade here, this still looks quite bearish to me. So here I'm hopeful we're gonna revisit at least this level down here. All right. Then there's just one last thing. I'm going to go back to my slides. Is if you have any questions regarding our products or in general about trading, don't be shy. Reach out to us via our homepage, tradingindicators.com. Go to support, click on contact, put your question there, and it comes straight to my inbox, and I get back to every single question personally. And lastly, if you want to take advantage of our special packs offers for our flagship indicators, we have different packs available for you at special pricing. It's tradingindicators.com/2026. The recording of the session will be made available on our YouTube page about 2 or 3 hours from now, as soon as it's rendered. Always takes a little bit. And just one last thing, I just did see another alert coming in here on my cell phone, a long power bounce on ZC. These are corn futures. Let's take a look here. All right.
I was going to say that, oh, wow, you haven't traded them in a while, but no, you did. Just
I love corn futures. Yeah, here I'm trading these all the time because they're so nicely and slow moving. Of course, we did have a loser today with ZS, but here, what is the setup? You can see it here on the 5-minute time frame. We're coming down to this resistance level with the zone of control right below here. A bit too far away from my taste. If this was a little bit higher, the zone of control, this would be even nicer. But you know what? Just to round off the day, I'm gonna place a trade here with corn futures. I'm just gonna ease in with one contract right now, maybe scale another time. afterwards with my stop loss just below here, below the zone of control, and my profit target at some higher price levels. If we are coming down a bit further, I may scale in another time around this price level here, giving a bit more advantageous of an entry, and then keep my target where it is. So this is going to be my last trade for today. I'm gonna keep you guys posted in Discord how this one is working out, or if you get our fill. So please check out our Discord channel there. It's tradingindicators.com/Discord if you guys want to check it out. All right. So with this, I wish you all a great trading day. Thanks for tuning in today to our live trading workshop. It's been fun. I will keep you posted how it pans out, and hopefully see you soon in one of our webinars. Until then, guys, have a great day. Thanks, Niklas, for your help. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.